guys, welcome to the Big Blue United podcast. My name is TJ. I'm here with Dan Collin, and we have Adriana with us today too. How's everyone doing tonight?
Fine.
Good.
I'm waiting for a hurricane to blow my house up right now. So.
Why? Is it
I heard it was
weird?
I heard it was a tornado warning in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. They sent the kids home from like the entire school district at noon today.
Oh.
In case tornado sucks them up in the air.
I mean, is the sky green for you, like Twister?
I don't know, man. My grass.
No, but
green.
Helen Hunt is in his backyard.
Yeah, Dusty's in my basement, just getting preparations. Right.
Do you have cows? We've got cows. Anybody?
Close. Yeah. No, I get the reference. I got it.
Yeah, I was also annoyed by that storm today too, because I woke up, I saw the forecast, and I was like, "Oh, great, we're gonna sit inside all day." And then the forecast changed. I went outside, got rained on, and then as soon as I got home, it stopped raining. It's annoying.
Sounds about right.
It's
Ruins your day with your young kids, especially when you live in an apartment in Brooklyn and you can't get out of it. It's a lot of pent up rage today.
Yeah.
From you or Riley?
Just everybody. No.
Old man shouting at the sky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey guys, as usual, please follow Big Blue United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us at BBU Podboys with a Z. Download that DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. Follow the Pigskin Podcast Network at the Pigskin Podnet on Twitter. And our sponsor today is Perk, which I'm wearing my Perk shirt right now that they gave me. Basically, Perk is basically high quality clothing. They call it Elevated Basics. They basically only sell like t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, and chinos. Their kind of thing is that they do very few things but do it well. And I have to say, I do love this shirt. It fits super well. It's really comfortable, breathable, lightweight. Can't really say anything more other than I recommend it. I think I might go on the site and try some of the pants out myself, because if it's the same quality as the shirt, it's definitely going to be something to get into my rotation, I think.
Yeah.
So guys, if you want to, look good, but not gaudy or anything like that, just really simple stuff. Perkclothing.com. Check them out.
They don't do gaudy. I'm sort of into gaudy now.
I'm just, you know what? I've been getting a little gaudier too in my, since we keep getting clothes for free. Like, this is a black shirt, which has basically been my MO for, Colin said this in the pod many times, for like my whole life.
Yeah.
So getting, that
Colored clothes.
Things with color, white, for instance. I even went out and I bought like a blue Giant shirt.
Yeah, that's weird. I can't.
It's vibrant.
At all.
Crazy, right? Yeah. I know.
Miami Beach TJ over here.
Gonna have my cardigan on the beach. Yeah. We'll get into some of the undrafted free agents today. We'll talk a little about the schedule, but just got to mention briefly the Giants have signed a few of the draft picks. We got Thibodeau, Neal, Beavers, Davidson, McFadden, and McKeithen all signed. The only details I really know is that Kayvon. Are you laughing because I pronounced Kayvon's last name wrong again?
No, we didn't even laugh.
I laughed.
I looked at him and he gave me a look. What did I say? Thibodeau?
Thibodeau. Stop with the Dow. The Dow. The Dow. Get it out. Dow Jones.
Spell it phonetically. Yeah.
Thibodeau.
I think the Giants actually posted an Instagram post right after they drafted him that was like how to pronounce it correctly. So I'll send it to you.
Yeah. How not to be a jerk.
I'm gonna need it. Yeah. If you can send me if you have any phonics books for first graders, I'll take those. I think I need it. But anyway, with the details here, Kayvon Thibodeau was signed. Obviously, all 4 years with the 5th-year option, $31.3 million, $19.9 million signing bonus. Evan Neal got $24.5 million, $15 million signing bonus. These contracts are all slotted in. They basically don't have much negotiation past what is called offset language. I don't know if anyone cares to know what that's about. But I mean, not really too much to mention. Nobody's been held out of rookie mini camp because there's like a guarantee that if you get injured, you'll still get the same deal. So, I guess we're just waiting for hopefully to get the rest of the guys signed and get them into training camp. I don't know. You guys have anything to say about the signings? Or
I feel like it won't take much time for them to get locked up. I think mostly because, not that I know, and I'm not inside the building, like neither any of us here are not either, but it just feels like they want to get everybody on board and everybody's all for one. So I'm sure it's all the semantics and all the lawyer talk to get through, but I feel like they're going to we'll probably hear about it this week, I would imagine.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on.
They freed up that cap, so let's sign them.
Exactly.
True. I guess that is a good question. Like, how much cap do you think they have left now?
I mean, maybe a couple of cents.
I mean, you'd have to imagine there's enough to like they got rid of Bradbury. They have to have enough room to do what they want to do.
And what was the said money on that?
I think it's like 10 or 11 million.
Yeah.
But I think before we cut him, we also had freed up 1.5 or 2 million. So we had a little bit of wiggle room before cutting him.
It's gonna cut it close.
Well, thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
POS. But we'll see. I can't find any information about, where they're at. This signing's just occurred, so I'm sure that information will be available at some point. We can share it later on. Cool. I'm glad they're in the fold. I'm glad the first two guys are, locked up and they're not going to miss any time, because that's usually the only thing that may happen. I know, like Joey Bosa, for instance, didn't play for a while, or didn't do the training camp and whatnot, which I think is super important when you're a rookie. So glad those guys are signed. Let's talk about some other guys the Giants signed that weren't drafted. So they hit the 90-man roster limit the other day. They signed 2 rookie tryout players, Ryan Anderson, Jordan Mosley. Shane basically said everybody's going to compete whether or not they were drafted or not drafted. So basically, I guess my question to you three guys is, who's the next Victor Cruz, Rich Stroybert, Sean O'Hara type out of this class, you think? I mean, maybe there isn't one, but let's be positive here.
I think I was going to talk about him last week because we thought we were going to get to this. Then obviously we didn't, because we rambled on forever. But I feel like, yeah, nice. Andre Miller from Maine feels like the Victor Cruz type character. And then I was surprised by seeing that we're going to be trying him at tight end at 6'2", 224. Similar to the recently jettisoned Ryson John, who is another converted wide receiver that didn't really pan out. So I don't know what the infatuation is, and this goes over multiple 2 different regimes of trying to, I don't know, I guess go with the straight athleticism at the tight end position, and I assume not trying to push these guys into trying to block ever. So I'm trying to figure out what the point is with that. But this guy, I've seen some video. I mean, it's Maine. It's the Patriot League. There aren't incredible teams over there, but he's super fast. He had the longest reception touchdown in Maine history. And he looked pretty good doing it. And he's a big guy. I think it could be interesting to see what they can do with him. I don't imagine him being much of a special teams guy, so I don't know. He'll probably struggle to fit on the roster, but who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us.
Wait, Colin, can I interject real quick? When you say from the last regime, are you referring to Kelvin Benjamin?
Oh yeah. Well, that's another example actually.
About him.
Yeah.
That's the first. Do you remember when he was like, "This coaching staff sucks, and there's something going really wrong here"? And we were all like, "Screw that guy!"
How dare you?
Yeah. Why don't you lose some weight, you jerk? Like we didn't even know what we were talking about. Maybe he did.
The Giants needed to drop some weight. I don't know. Maybe like, how much did Gettleman weigh, you think? I don't know. Who knows? Adriana, who are you thinking about? And then we'll kind of go back around a few times and see if anybody has anything else.
So another tight end, Austin Allen, who actually was a tight end in college. I have him at 6'8", 253, and I watched some of his stats today. So not stats. I watched some of his highlights. So he's from Nebraska, and he is not super fast, but he has really good hands, and he's good at contested catches. And I think we haven't had someone who is tall and big and able to do stuff like that, especially from the tight end position, in a long time. So he kind of seems tall and lanky. I think maybe I'd like to see him fill out a little bit more. There was no mention of him blocking at all, so I don't know if he has any of those capabilities, if they think that that's something that they can teach him or not. But I think that he could be used just as another good tight end. And I don't know, maybe they see him as being used as more, kind of like another wide receiver, because he, I guess, can run pretty good routes and can catch, but I don't know. I like him.
When I saw that signing, I was like, oh yes, this guy's super tall and he plays tight end and he could like be a very useful wide tight end. But apparently he's not very strong. He had eight reps on the bench, which is I think I could do that. I'm not in shape at all. But they say he's like really good in the air. Maybe he's just like fade in the end zone at goal line, just throw it up there.
That's all he's going to do if he does anything. Well, I mean, if you look at the numbers. I'm sorry, go ahead, Colin.
No, I was just going to say as well, he had the most receptions by a Nebraska tight end ever in a season, which is kind of cool. I think it was like 38 or something like that. But go on.
I was just when you look at his stats, the two that are most interesting to me are 66 out of 70 wins on contested catches, 2 drops and 89 targets. So yeah, he's a big boy. He ain't strong, but hopefully he'll put some weight on, and then you just throw him the ball in the end zone and let him jump and catch it. That's basically all you need to do.
Yeah, what I would like to see is him be used like Kyle Rudolph was supposed to be used, as a perfect red zone target.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they think they can use him as, because he is so much taller than some of the other guys.
He's definitely interesting athletically to me. And I mean, 6'8" is not something you teach. He can put on weight. Whether or not that'll affect his speed moving forward, that we'll see. But if they could put some weight on him, develop him as a little bit of a blocker, he might not just be like someone who is on a fringe roster candidate, because he does have that kind of freakish size, right?
Well, that's the question, though. Like, they have to figure that out now. I mean, they must have a plan. Either he's dropping weight and trying to get faster and just, being a straight up wide receiver, or he's putting on the weight and getting coached to block. So I'm wondering which way they're going to go. It'll be interesting.
All right. Yeah. Interesting prospect in. Who are you looking at? Who's your number one, you think?
I was going to say who aren't my number ones. I don't think I have a number one yet. Like, I'm looking through all the undrafted free agents, seeing their like relative athletic score, and Colin, I think, gobbled up the number one relative athletic score with Andre Miller. But there was news that came out this week at some point where Dable was talking about the running back from Florida State that we picked up, Jayshon Corbin, who has, supposedly a very complementary skill set to Saquon. And I'm a big fan of getting running backs late in the draft or undrafted free agents. I feel like there's always a good chance they could pop. I don't think he was highly scored due to his measurables. Like, he had a 4.6 40-yard dash, just average height and weight. But the review on him is that he's got some of that stuff that's harder to measure, such as balance and vision. Sort of an elusivity, which can show up in 3-cone drill, I guess. But they say he's makes an impact on the field, and Dable backed it up by saying that he think he can be an early contributor within the running back rotation. So that's always cool, and I always root for like I said, undrafted or low drafted running backs to succeed. So we'll see.
I saw 2 notes about him today coming out of OTAs, and one of them that he caught one of the touchdowns from Davis Webb, who threw 3 touchdowns today.
Nice.
So, he's trying to win out that position from Jones, I guess. But also that Corbin got work as a punt returner. So I thought that was interesting. Because like you said, he's not a huge guy, but they also said that Wan'Dale Robinson, they were using as a punt returner too. So, I'm sure they're trying to kind of just build up the versatility between these guys and see, but maybe that's kind of what they're thinking too, is that he could be used as a pretty good punt returner. And I watched some of his highlights today too. And he did, he seems like he was pretty fast, running like 70 yards down the field for a touchdown. So I was kind of impressed by that.
You do wonder how he literally tore his ass off the bone. If you read that,
I did not read that.
Well, it was his hamstring came completely off the bone in college, and he had an arduous climb to get back to being the starting running back for Florida State, which is incredible in itself.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we hold him in such high regard that he got $110,000 guarantee. Right off.
I saw that. He was one of the few guys to get some money, actually. Yeah.
A priority free agent.
And
undrafted.
who's number 0 in college, which I guess we're accumulating these guys.
That
right?
could be cool.
Yeah.
I still don't think he could be number 0.
Yeah, I know.
I do like this pickup simply because I think he would have been drafted. He just had a bad 40 time, which 4.6, but he did have the 2 longest TDs in the ACC last year, 89, 79 yards. So he is able to break off those big runs.
Yeah.
But more importantly to me, 6.2 yards a carry, caught 81.3% of his pass targets. And also he's a great pass blocker too. I think PFF had him, almost 98% pass block efficiency rating. So to me, I mean, getting a running back that you're basically not wasting a draft capital on, I think someone who could come in and definitely make this team. 100% can make this team. I mean, I like him better than Gary Brightwell already, just by from what I've read. So
wait. Which is he not on the team anymore?
Brightwell, I think he still is.
I believe he's still on the team. I did not read about.
Couldn't cut him yet.
I mean, we can look this up.
Maybe they want to use him on special teams because I know that they tried to use him on special teams last year.
Yeah.
Maybe they just think that's a better spot for him. I don't know.
That was his upside last year. They're like, this guy might be able to contribute on special teams. Like, okay, good. I'm glad they should have cut him with whoever in the front office vouched
Chris
for him.
Pettit.
Yeah. They cut him both.
Listen, we have to stop talking about Gary Brightwell because I'm reading some things about his childhood and his personal life, and they're very disturbing. Should I share it with you?
No.
I don't know. I read some stuff about Jay Bromley after I made fun of him real bad, and yeah, we should probably ease up on that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like, just go to Wikipedia and read the paragraph on his personal life.
All right. Well, let's just leave him alone and hope he sticks.
Sorry, Gary.
And hope he
Let's
does.
move on.
Gary,
I'm sure Joe Judge will have you back on his Patriot special teams.
By the way, I don't know if you've been reading. I was reading about Joe Judge and the Patriots today. I know this is off.
He might be the offensive coordinator.
Yes, him and Patricia are up to be offensive coordinators, and apparently people in New England fans are livid about it. Because they don't want him anywhere near Mac Jones. Anywhere near Mac
I don't blame him. He was supposed to be a special teams coordinator. Our special teams was like one of the worst in the league.
Yeah.
I don't. But what I don't get even more is Patricia. Like, how do you take a guy who's been a defensive coordinator or defensive-minded head coach his entire career and be like, "Hey, you run the offense"?
Because he knows what the defense is going to do, so he can do the opposite, dude.
And maybe Bill's losing his mind already, or I don't know.
If he had possessed one to begin with.
No, that's a heart and a soul. He has a mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there might be like some type of alien intervention or something going on there.
That's fair.
Who knows? Anyway, back to free agents, guys. Let me do one.
What you got?
I'm going to go off and mention Yusuf Corker, the safety from Kentucky. He's technically a free safety, 6 foot, 203 pounds, but apparently does like to run downfield, can play in the box, maybe misses on some tackles because he loves to do the big hits. But, who didn't like to do the hit stick in Madden?
I played football that way, literally.
Yeah, good. The reason why I like him is just because I think it's a thin position, and I think, one of his best traits is his ability to blitz as a DB, which I know is something that Wake Martindale is very into. So in terms of people who could maybe come in and make the team and have an impact, whether or not it's on special teams or a situational type player, I think he can do it. He can cover too. I mean, he could play in cover too also. Hey, I guess he allowed 54% of passes thrown to him to be completed. So nothing special. He's more going to be a kind of run stopping blitzer kind of guy, but those skills can develop. You never know. Any thoughts on Yusuf? Because I'm pronouncing it wrong, definitely.
No, I think that's right. And I think he's one of those guys that like plays a lot bigger than he actually is, which is cool, which is so very much so a Ravens type safety. It's just Wink Martindale all day long. So it makes sense. It's great how you can see the fingerprints of this coaching staff on all these players that were brought in one way or the other. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know much about him, but
a couple other things that I have seen and read about him is he has really good instincts and he's aggressive. So 2 things also that Wink loves. Something else that I saw was that today he got the only interception in the OTAs. So I am hoping that there are some videos that come out of these OTAs because I want to see them. There was talk of someone also had the best. Oh, Bellinger had the best TD catch of the day. So
Cool.
I'm looking for these things. But there's been a little bit of speculation that maybe they'll move Julian Love to corner. And I wonder if that's the case. If they do that, then they see someone like Yusuf stepping into the safety position. And that's why there's been some talk from one of the draft analysts thinks that Yusuf is going to be one of the few who does make the team. So I wonder if that's kind of what they're thinking.
Oh, and Dan, 2-time captain for the team too. So.
Oh, very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
Can't teach that leadership.
No. Dan hates that.
I know.
I mean, when that's like the number one metric you're drafting on, I think you got to reconsider.
Yeah, fair.
Priorities.
We'll yeah.
Are we going to talk about Jay Bromley again?
No,
we already did.
For the second time in this
because
pod?
that's what brought that up in the first place.
Wow, Dan, can't believe you would say those things. Wish I remember what episode it was so I could delete it.
It was like two ago.
I don't
maybe?
know.
I don't know.
No, who cares? No one cares.
Colin, who else do you like?
Oh, well, you know who I have to talk about now.
I've got a guess, but I'll let you say it.
Well, you're going to laugh, but after I looked into him a little bit more, he's not the kind of player that I actually thought he was going to be, and that's Jeremiah Hall from.
Of course, that's 100% who I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, the H-back from Oklahoma. Well, you thought that last week too, and I caught you on it, so whatever.
Well, I didn't remember. I don't remember last week. That was a long time ago.
Well, after I looked into some of his highlights, I figured turning it on and be like, okay, they're gonna show him running over a bunch of people. It's gonna be one of these situations with 3-yard. Runs right up the gut, and that's it. And no, every single play was him catching somewhat long passes. He's definitely more of a tight end. He looks like a fullback, but he's a tight end, and he plays like a tight end, which is kind of really sweet. I don't know. It's like a very different. He's like
Chris Cooley is a good example.
Yeah,
just popped in my head.
But like tougher.
Yeah, I've heard Madison Hedgecock too, but Chris Cooley probably a deal more talented than this guy, but they have a similar kind of skill set. I would say
directly in between those two people is exactly what this player is.
Mm-hmm.
He's thicker than Cooley, and he's not as big as Hedgecock was, because Hedgecock was he was a lineman basically, and he ran like it too.
Yeah, Hall is 6'1", 240. So
and he's like, it wasn't even just like passes in the flat or anything like that. Like, he was running over, going across the field and catching in the corner of the end zone, and diving and sliding and stuff like that, and doing some athletic things that someone that size you wouldn't imagine being able to do. So he's got soft hands. I figured it's one of these things where everyone's going to be moving around anyway, like we talked about. Like, the pre-snap motion is going to be insane. He's just another perfect piece for that kind of thing. So I don't know. It's kind of Elijah Penny, but who can catch. So that's kind of cool. It's like an upgrade there. I don't know how his blocking is. I didn't really read too much into that. I don't think they used him very much as a straight up fullback. But to be seen. I like it. I would.
It's a very Colin type player, one of those old school
smash
mouth. Yeah. I mean, I read a little about him. I read that he can play fullback. I read he can play fullback, halfback, tight end, even line up in the slot. Fairly slow, but had 700 yards, 12 touchdowns in 3 years from Oklahoma. Yeah, I mean, it definitely kind of fits the mold of versatility, right?
Yeah.
Someone who can really move around a lot. I mean, I don't have too much more to add to what you already said, Colin. I do think it gives, the Giants a little more options to run different, run a wider variety of sets when you have someone who can come in and play fullback. But you're obviously not going to have a fullback on your roster. So, I mean, great to add versatility to the offense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Adriana, who else you like?
Okay, I am going to go for DT Jabari Ellis from South Carolina, because I'm a South Carolina alum, so I am biased and partial to him. You will especially love that he is a team leader, and he was named captain in 2021.
Perfect.
But he is 6'3", 278. I watched some of his highlights too. He seems like he's fast. He can get to the quarterback. I saw a couple really nice tackles from him. He started in 22 out of 35 games, and he has 81 career tackles, 8.5 of them for loss. So, not the best statistics out there, but I think that he could probably be coached up to be a pretty good defensive tackle. And I don't know, see how he would do in Wink's scheme. But I'd like to see him get a shot and hope to see some more of him from some practice tapes.
I feel like it's very easy for a defensive tackle to catch on as that rotational kind of character. So they have more of a shot there. I feel like there's less thinking and more just like be big and go, deal with it,
He'll be interesting because he's much smaller as a defensive tackle. He's barely 6'2", but he had a crazy fast 40. Do you see his 40 was 4.7?
Oh, wow.
40.
Wow.
So he's like elite 40 speed.
Cool.
I don't know how much of a run stopper he could be, but it's always cool to have someone on the inside that could potentially create some pass rush, especially being so low to the ground. Really change things up when you're used to blocking Dexter Lawrence. You all of a sudden have to deal with this guy. Could be pretty cool.
It could be great chasing, dudes down from the backside or stuff like that. I've seen him listed as defensive end too. So
there you go.
Maybe he won't be a in your face run stopper, but someone who can chase down a play.
Yeah. Converse of Ellis is someone that I was sort of looking into and excited. I think he was one of the earlier undrafted free agents we signed was Tyrone Truesdale.
Yeah.
Who was like the opposite. He's 6'2", 326 pounds.
Yeah.
So I looked into it and he had some interesting stats, but then apparently he couldn't pass his physical, so he won't be on the team.
Oh, is that really what happened? I was looking for him today. I'm like, wait, is he not on the team anymore?
The same thing happened to me, man. I was looking through and I was like, wwhere's this guy? He's not on the roster. I was like, let me delete him. Yeah.
So he didn't even make the freaking wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, maybe he's a little too thick. But the other defensive tackle, since we're talking about them, that I thought was somewhat interesting was Chris Hinton from Michigan. One of these guys that doesn't have a ton of, flashy characteristics, but he's got the stuff that I don't like that people care about is the pedigree, right? His dad played college football. I think he might have been a pro.
Oh, dude, his dad was drafted 4th overall and made 7 Pro Bowls.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
yeah.
why I like him. Yeah.
But I think, again, he flashes some pass rushing ability. Everything else about him leaves something to be desired. I think he's fairly slight. He doesn't have the requisite girth that, the draft heads seem to appreciate.
How about his length, though?
Yeah, no, doesn't have that either. The girth and length.
Me and Hinton got a lot in common, I guess.
What does it say? He struggles to reach the point of the attack and run defense. As a pass rusher, he's similarly unspectacular. But he's got that bloodline, so I guess you can't count that out. And maybe he'll shake out. Maybe he's got really great work ethic, and
maybe he knows the game.
Turn himself into. Yeah, maybe he eats and breathes football. He has it for breakfast in the morning. I don't know. So I thought, he might be someone to keep an eye on just because I think there's going to be buzz about him because of his pedigree.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I would add about him is just that pedigree and, potentially, someone who's going to be there first and second down. Probably will never see him on third down. You can't get to the passer. So, another camp body, I feel like, with this guy personally, but.
Yeah, we'll see.
Who else can we talk about?
What about Josh Revis?
I was going to say who was Josh Revis. You want to do him? Our offensive guard,
Another
Kansas
guard.
State. 6'5", 330. Big boy for a guard, huh?
Yeah, well, that's a theme, it seems, with the guys we're bringing in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, it's sort of indicative of what they say about his skill set, where he's not great moving side to side, big body that can block downhill.
Not great moving.
Yeah, he can't really move, but yeah, I mean, basically on an interior line, that's a big question mark. I don't see why adding more depth in a big boy like that, whether or not he can be someone who's going to pull or whatever it is that you have to do at the guard position. Maybe they kick him out and try him at tackle. I'm sure he's versatile because that's all the thing that matters this year.
So true.
I do like the defensive end they signed, yesterday, Ryder Anderson, who, even though coming in at 24 years old, 6'6", 247, he's played 5 years in college for at Ole Miss with his 5th year at Indiana, where he transferred to, which is a weird one for me. But in 40 games, 145 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, those aren't necessarily fantastic numbers, but for someone who is coming out of a rookie tryout, pretty decent. Basically could play inside, outside, doesn't really play the run super well. Kind of just like a bull rusher, downhill guy, big, strong man, going to push some people over. So should be fun to watch him in camp, see what happens.
Big strong man.
What?
Yeah, and
I hate his name.
Not that
Ryder?
it matters too much, but I mean, he played at Indiana with McFadden, which is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
I think I was laughing at TJ's for Alice Man. That should be a key character trait.
What is it?
Moving forward?
Big, strong man.
Big strong man. Yes or no?
Yes.
Big strong
yes.
man. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I don't know, like, how do you really develop like lateral quickness? It's not really something you develop, is it? I mean, I'm not an athlete.
Jump rope.
Jump rope.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
And yeah, there's all sorts of agility drills you can do. There's a lot of them.
So you can teach
Didn't
agility.
expect jump rope.
Is what you're getting at?
Jumping rope, I swear, from experience, is a great way to create quick feet.
Huh.
Which
Did Jerome Bettis do a tremendous amount of jump roping?
Must
Is that how he
have.
got that way?
I bet you he did.
Quickest feet I've ever seen.
Ever seen
in a big
Rocky?
man.
Have you watched any Rocky movies in your life?
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I was more looking at the muscles than like the feet, personally. Just like the glistening muscles,
Mm.
Did I ever tell you, like, when I first started dating my current wife, because, she's like almost Russian. So we used to watch Rocky IV, and I would chant USA in her face at the end. That was always fun.
That's when she fell in love with you.
She married me. Who knew?
That's how she knew. That's how she, that's forever.
That was it.
Yep. Well, now she's got an American passport, so she definitely said F Ivan Drago the last time we watched it. So
Nice.
that never happened. I'm just making that up.
That guy's from Norway anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dolph?
Is it Bridget
Yeah.
Nielsen? Bridget Nielsen is like
Yeah.
she's American, is she not?
No.
Yeah, it's Swedish or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no. American, Swedish, No.
One of
and the
those.
same.
One of those places. Any other undrafted free agents you guys want to mention here?
I want to bring up the North Carolina edge rusher, and I don't. Please, someone tell me how to pronounce his first name, because I want to hear it from someone else.
So I have him
Toman
listed
Fox?
too. I think it's Toman. Yeah.
Come on. Well, I like his name, so I think that's reason enough to have him on the squad.
I
And
was
he's
gonna
another
say,
UNC guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Add him to the list.
Yeah.
they really went down there and had a field day.
For real?
Well, and I think that's why there was a lot of speculation. I don't know if you guys read this, but there was a lot of speculation about them picking Sam Howell because of all the time at UNC and talking to him and all of that. But it sounds like it was all a smokescreen to get all the guards
Smart.
from UNC instead.
All the guards.
Yeah.
Where did Howell end up?
Washington.
Oh, Washington, you're right.
Is he? He's a commander.
Yeah.
Commander.
Oh, good for him. So we'll be seeing him soon. Can't wait till he starts and just throws 1,000 interceptions. We never hear from him again.
Yeah. Well, maybe he'll start eating beef if he can't.
Oh my God! What a weird story that was.
Oh, yeah. But
So-
he's not a vegetarian, right?
No, he
Sam
eats
Howell?
chicken like a madman.
No, he only eats chicken fingers. He's never had beef in his entire life, and he brings his own chicken fingers to places to eat them.
Beef
he's
is
got a
so
purse.
superior, though. Why would you choose chicken over it?
Why do you have the diet of a 4-year-old? Is the real
It's a
question.
great question.
I have no tolerance for that.
No.
It's really gets under my skin. Just try it. Just try it.
Like, well, never had
Maybe-
a pear, dude.
Maybe he's got an allergy. I don't know if that. I don't know. Who knows?
No, he's just
No.
scared.
Can you be allergic to like specific meats? I mean, obviously fish and shellfish are different, but I've never heard. I mean, I work at a restaurant. You'd think I would have heard of a beef allergy by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Someone told them they were allergic to salt and pepper one time, and I was like, "Well, you're making that up. That's okay." No one's even
maybe
tried
they
to
don't
make it
like
up.
the musical group.
Oh,
God.
man.
Oh man, can't wait till you have kids, Colin. It's gonna be amazing. The dad jokes are
I'm way ahead of
Crushing
the game.
crushing.
Yeah.
The only person I want to mention is Bear Hunter because he's got the best name ever.
Yeah.
OG Appalachia State. I have no notes on him, but cool name.
Does anyone
like
know
how-
anything about? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. I mean, just the fact that it's spelled bear, not bear.
Yeah,
I love that.
Well, it's
The
the
two letters.
long tradition of Giants, Bears, Bear Pascal. You know,
Fair
Mm.
enough.
can't forget.
Fair
Bear
enough.
Pasco. Bear
Uh,
enough. Wow.
Oh, God, I
The
wish
jokes write
you could.
themselves.
I'm just gonna stop the recording.
Yeah. Isn't there like a TV show, like a game show where you can mute like certain contestants?
I can do whatever I want. Actually, I can mute you.
You're muted. Time out.
No,
No, I'm not gonna do that to you, Colin. We love you.
Does anyone know anything about Zion Gilbert, this cornerback from Florida Atlantic? There's not a lot on him, but he is 6 feet tall and has some pretty good scores with his 40-yard dash.
His
apparently-
40 actually was what dropped him. 4.5, I think.
4.49 is what I say.
Well, close enough.
Well, it's a half a second faster, so no.
Okay.
Anyway, he looked interesting. I this is like leading up to this podcast. The first time I saw him, apparently it's just he got away with a lot because he's naturally athletic but doesn't have a lot of fundamentals. So I just thought it'd be an interesting guy to flag,
Coachable.
especially with that size just raw ability. So
Only thing I read from him was that he is very athletic for someone who went undrafted.
yeah,
Huh.
exactly.
Raw skills, man. Also,
Okay.
Dan, what's 4.5 minus 4.49?
I thought you said. Oh well, yeah, no, okay. I thought you said 5 seconds.
Oh no, I said 4.5.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, okay.
In
no.
that case.
I feel like this has been a lot of shit talking on this pod. I'm enjoying it.
Oh, there's our curse for the
Yeah,
day.
the
Oh,
one
man.
per week. Well,
Oh,
hey, your boy got it last week. It wasn't even one of us.
Yes, Sam was just coming out
Sam.
hot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he dropped the S bomb pretty hard. It was great.
Colin, did you know Jeremiah Hall ran a 4.940?
Yep.
Jeez Louise, man.
Yeah, but that's the weird part and why I was so interested. It's like, and apparently he runs great routes and he gets open. I know it's college and it's
It was actually 4.96, Dan.
I know it's 4.96. Oh man, I'm gonna kick everyone off the podcast. This is the worst.
No, it's just going to be the Dan and Adriana podcast.
Yeah. It'd be more informative, more relatable. People would love it, and you should watch the Listen Skyrocket next week on Big Blue United
Because I got
podcast.
nothing to do on Monday night, so I was looking forward to this.
You could catch up on Star Trek.
I could. All right.
Who else?
Undrafted free agents. I mean, I don't have anyone else to talk about.
I have one more that I thought was kind of
Go
intriguing.
for it.
I don't know if you guys saw defensive tackle Antonio Valentino. Sounds like he's
Yes.
related to me.
Paisan.
From from Florida, 6'3", 312. Some pretty good stats here. His senior year of high school, I love that they mentioned this because I thought it was hilarious. He had 54 tackles, 10 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he was a top-rated recruit. And then at Florida, he actually was at Penn State for 4 years before he went to Florida. But in his last year at Florida, so he started 8 out of 12 games. He had 11 solo tackles, 17 total, 5 quarterback hurries, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, and he blocked an extra point,
Nice.
which I don't remember the last time we've ever seen anyone on the Giants do that.
I think it was
So-
JPP like many
Well,
years
that
ago.
was a
Like,
field
he
goal.
was still
Was it-
playing
I
special
think
teams.
But that was after when he had the glove, right? I think it was
The
after
club,
the
yeah.
finger. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was also a field goal against the Cowboys. It was quite a big kick, too. Also, about Antonio Valentino, he keeps his hands active and is relentless in pursuit. So I guess he likes jazz hands a lot. I don't know what that means.
You know, my favorite one
Love
is
that for him.
Just running behind you like this.
Yeah, like, hey, man.
I love when they say they have heavy hands. I love that saying.
What does that
Just
mean?
imagine
Like
them
they
just like-
chop?
Which is like once they like put their hands on you, it's just like extra weight. Bam. Heavy hands.
Give it to him.
Yeah.
I do have one more because I do want to talk about Jordan Mosley too, just because they say his forte is covering tight ends from the safety spot or from down in the nickel. So wow, the Giants have never had they've been able to cover tight ends ever, And this guy, I'm surprised he went undrafted. Led Maryland in tackles with 83.
Wow.
Good in space, good at the line. He could play, as I said before, cornerback or safety. 6'1", 210. Hey, sounds like a guy again at a thin position that could potentially make a difference in some aspect. Yeah, cool. All right. I think we've talked enough about these guys that potentially. I know Adriana and I were texting briefly before this, and I was like, "How much research did you do for a bunch of guys you'll probably never hear from again?" And there we are.
I was just thinking, who is gonna, out of all these guys, who is gonna get cut? Like, I just was thinking about Quincy Roche because someone made some comparison about one of the undrafted free agents to him, and I'm like, there's so many guys that I feel like are on the roster, Gary Brightwell, that really weren't talked about that much, that honestly are kind of forgettable a little bit.
For sure.
That I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see who makes the final 53 in the practice squad.
Oh yeah.
Can't wait.
Let's move on and talk about the schedule. But first, Colin, are you drinking a Bloody Mary?
Oh, you asked me that last week too.
That's just like health freak stuff.
Antioxidant. Yeah, it's just it's tasty juice.
Just pomegranates and blueberries.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
that
Ooh, that
it starts with an
sounds
N, right?
Yeah, Ningxia.
Ningxia, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's tasty. It's tasty, good stuff.
It's European.
Chinese, actually.
Same thing.
Same thing. Yes.
I'm having an IPA. It's 11.3% alcohol.
Oh, you went with the light stuff tonight. Nice.
Other hat. I'm wearing the hat too.
What kind of IPA is it, TJ?
Oh, let's see here, Dan. It's called Triple Mylar Daydream Imperial Oat Cream Triple Indian Pale Ale.
Imperial oat cream.
God.
Fancy.
What's the tongue feel?
The tongue feel. Oh,
it's mouthfeel.
Mouthfeel, yeah. Mouthfeel.
It's the problem when you get to this much alcohol is that the beer tends to get a little sticky. It's a little sticky. Mm-hmm. So, they do it really well. Don't get me wrong, but I've had other triple IPAs that are just undrinkable. This is actually delicious, but
yeah. They're wearing their hat. Yeah.
Oh,
Must be a big fan.
Are you preparing for Sunday? Because Dan,
I did not pay for this hat, just so you know. Anyway, we're gonna go to Evil Twin on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm pumped on that. That's gonna be it. We're gonna have a fun day.
I just have to tell Scott to get there an hour before we actually want to get there, so he shows up 20 minutes after we do.
Smart.
My brother can never be on time. We're just rambling here, but we're going to see a concert, the three of us, together with my brother on Sunday in Queens.
Nice.
I don't remember the last time the three of us went to a show together, period, which is insane.
MXPX,
no idea.
8th grade?
Possibly.
Like that. All right. Schedule, guys. Briefly. I mean, it is what it is. I like it. It seems to be pretty favorable, in my opinion. Adriana, what's your opinion just on the Giants schedule in general?
Well, I'm a little concerned because it says that we have one of the easiest schedules. And I feel like that should give us a lot of hope and optimism that we are going to win more games. But I can't bring myself to do it. I have us going, my guess was somewhere between 7 and 10. And if I'm feeling really optimistic, we go 8 and 9. But I think there's some games that I could really see us winning. I think we can beat the Panthers. I think we can beat the Lions and the Jags. I think we could beat the Commanders at least once. Yeah. But can we pull through and beat teams like the Eagles and the Cowboys at least once? I don't know. I really hope that we do, but I feel like we can because now I feel like we have all the pieces and we have the coaching and everything, but I just am not really willing to let myself get that excited.
I agree. I don't think that the schedule has any sort of weight on how we're going to end up doing this year. I think it all comes down to luck, which is funny because just a little bit of a segue here. I was talking to my dad last weekend. He was just like, I have a topic for you guys for the podcast. I'm like, oh, what's that? You have to elaborate on this. He texted me and we went to dinner and he said, luck, straight up that's the topic and how we've not had it for so long that we are bound to get some of it again. And it must happen.
I argue with that.
Yo, your dad has his head in the clouds, man.
Yeah.
No.
We chose to hire.
Because think about it though. You guys forget we used to have luck and a lot of it back in the day, and it doesn't happen.
I will say there were a ton of games in the last few years that were decided, in the end in the fourth quarter. That being said, if you're letting yourself get into that position, that isn't a positive.
Yeah.
Of
And
course, no. But he's saying on top of like doing everything else right and putting the right players in the right positions, and then having that little bit of football magic that gets
just gonna like
Yeah.
omitting the last few years and like the awful hirings and drafts and stuff. You're talking
Yeah.
about like
But like Saquon's injury getting stepped on, that was just a total
unluck.
Unlucky thing that doesn't happen that often. Like, what are the chances that it happens to Saquon after he's just getting back? Those kinds of things. Like, I would say I agree. That to me is super unlucky, where I wouldn't say Jones's injury is like, that's not really a luck thing, but you know, kickers making 60+ yarders that have never made them before. Like, what are the chances that with 3 seconds left, they hit it? You know, those to me were unlucky.
Or sure, you know,
It
you're
only happened to us.
Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence goes off sides, you know, whatever it is. I guess
exactly.
But then he wasn't
luck? Is
really
that luck?
off. Oh,
Yeah, I
Was
mean,
he? Who knows? I think he was, but is that luck? I don't know.
I mean, I would also, it was a lot of luck to be in position to win any of those games too. Like, I don't know. No one forced us to hire who we did hire as our coach and our general manager, and they did exactly what every other team thought they would do in far as ineptitude and putting the players on the field to be in the right space at the right time. Like, there's bad luck, but I think there's also a lot of luck that like we are a way worse team than like
of course, and that's not
in Joe
even an
Judge's
argument
first
here.
year or whatever, where we thought he was a god. He got super lucky that whole season. Remember, we didn't play like a team starting quarterback for like 13 out of like 18 games. Like, we were like,
That was brutal.
Yeah. Bad team stuff is bad team stuff, and then you're unlucky.
No, that was luck.
No,
not playing a
yeah,
starting
but
quarterback
yeah,
for
we
half your
should have
season.
won.
I know, and it's unluck at the same time because we were garbage.
No, that means you're bad. That means you're trash, and it's your fault.
Luck or unluck?
Let's
a new poll series.
Yeah,
Big Blue United.
a introduction to philosophy class for community colleges. Luck or unluck?
It's what's that math that we learned that was like not math. It was actually
Imaginary numbers.
No, was it theory?
No. What is it? With wasn't it statistics?
Nate?
No, logic.
Logic. That's it.
Yes. With the P's and the T's.
Yes.
And all
What
that
kind of
weird
math
stuff?
classes were you guys taking?
Oh,
Regular
Summer's
Regents math, New York City math, New York State math. I don't know.
yeah. It was silly. That was the only
Logic.
math
I love
enjoyed.
logic. Logic.
Me
games.
too.
Yeah, logic was easy because there wasn't numbers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to like that. Yeah.
That does look
Schedule
like a
for
bloody
me,
man.
I mean, I'm just really looking forward to the Giants playing the Cowboys both on Monday night and especially on Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
I have like a scenario fantasy in my mind where like the Giants win like their first, 2 games and then beat the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. And then people are like, oh, maybe this team is legit. Maybe this team is going places. And we can give our, the new look Giants a show to the country and in prime time, because that's the only 2 real games everyone's going to be watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, Adrian, in terms of where I landed when I went down the line, I did end up at 8 and 9, which I think is very generous. But it does seem like you said, that there's games that can be won here. And if you can split with your division, I think they'll probably have trouble beating the Eagles, but I think they can split with the Commanders and the Cowboys for sure. But yeah, I mean, I love how favorable this is. I love kind of that Jaguars, Seahawks, Texans, Lions stretch in there to give yourself that confidence to go play the Cowboys on Thanksgiving and make a statement. That being said, at the end of the year, it seems like a hard stretch too. So I do think the Giants have a better chance this year, just if you look at the schedule and none of the other factors to, succeed more just based on that.
And those 2 games. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. No.
I was just going to say the 2 games leading up to the Thanksgiving game, we're coming off a bye too, which I think is going to be, if we're dealing with any guys with injuries, which part of that is what I'm hoping from a lucky standpoint, is that we don't have any more horrendous injuries like we just have had the last couple of years. And I think the new strength and conditioning and all that kind of stuff is going to help. And hopefully, having those 2 games after the bye, I think could really help us be at home before the Cowboys.
I should just mention we're talking starting week 7, Jaguars, Seahawks, bye, Texans, Lions, then Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting stretch there.
Quick note on the injuries. In a case of Unluck, we have documented the worst fields in the NFL where everyone gets injured, and that's our choice, which makes it our Unluck, and we did it to ourselves. It's not luck.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say about this guy.
Can I just say one quick thing, Dan? Is that I know I mentioned this before, is that because the Jets and Giants both play in the same stadium, they have 2 guys to do the same job. So there's double the amount of people to maintain that field than other NFL teams.
We have different practice facility, though.
Yes, we do.
True.
Where a lot of the injuries happen. Where a lot of the Unluck happens. One thing that I'm most psyched about in the schedule, I didn't even look to see the matchups or in the sequencing of it because I'm going to give that to you fresh off the dome, is that I'm excited that there aren't any primetime games. Well, there's only 2 primetime games. I much
we
prefer.
don't deserve them, so.
Well, no, I just like much prefer not waiting an entire Sunday or waiting till like a Monday and like being super excited to watch this and every time seeing like just garbage product on the field, which I'm used to. Like this year, I think the product will be much more fun to watch and much more rewarding. But great, I'm gonna be super happy to have it like done with by 4:00 in the afternoon most of the time. Especially if we want to get out to some tailgates. But very, very happy that we don't have to like wait for Thursday night games or Monday night games all the time and Sunday night games.
We play the Cowboys twice before we play the Commanders or the Eagles, and that's insane.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
I feel like Cowboys,
Usually that, ever since teams were trying to like throw, either or sit their starters in the last few games, they always throw the divisional matchups at the end. So that is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
But, could you imagine trying to like, I mean, I'm sure a computer does it now, but could you imagine sitting down and trying to make the NFL schedule?
No.
50 years ago, that must have been like taking a long time to figure
really
out.
Hard. I tried to make my fantasy league schedule one year and it was a real brain buster.
I'm sure.
It gets really hard.
Now, probably someone just programmed this all. You type in all the team names and hit generate. And then
that's
5
how you do
seconds
it,
later, they made 18 schedules that work.
Except for the situations where you have like, the Broncos playing the Seahawks.
Oh, well, I'm sure they go through with a fine-tooth comb and move some stuff around to make it more interesting.
Yeah,
but, I mean, the base work is done there. There's no conflicts, as I guess what I'm getting
they definitely program it for sure.
Yeah. Anything else tonight, guys?
I'll say this. I think I could have foreseen this happening, but there after all like the hullabaloo about Waddell Robinson in the second round, every day I just find myself thinking more and more about what he's going to be like on the field, and it's just so fun, man. It's just so fun. Just like watch some of his highlights and just be like, there's like a whole world of possibilities. Like this guy can go any way. They can use him in so many different ways. I have high hopes because I still prescribe to the idea that this coaching staff and this front office know what they're doing. They have a very specific idea. And a player like that is so cool to see what smart people with a plan are going to do with. So very excited for that and just overall excited to see what happens. Like I just want to fast forward to preseason really.
Yeah, this is going to be a long couple of months, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you turn into the podcast like in July. It's going to be real interesting. Thank you guys tonight for listening. Please follow BBU United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at BBU Podboys with the Z. Download that DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. Check out perkclothing.com and follow Adriana on Twitter and TikTok at NYGFangirl. And Adriana, thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
I want to make this feel like less of like you guys are like a guest spot and more of just like, people who are contributing a lot. So I hope we have to have you back on sooner than later.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Cool. Thanks for listening,
so much.
guys. Have a good night.
You too.
See ya.
Right.
Bye.